Good morning, children. I am your social science teacher. Today, let us learn about the socialism in Europe and Russian Revolution, children. See, children, in the previous topic, we have studied about the Russian Empire in 1914, the economy and society, socialism in Russia, a turbulent time, that is 1905 revolution we have studied. See, children, in the previous topics, that is Tsar Nicholas ruled over Russia and its empire. We all know about that. And besides the territory around Moscow, the Russian empire included present day, that is Finland, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, parts of Poland, Ukraine and Belarus. And see, children, it stretched to the Pacific and comprised today's Central Asian states as well as Georgia, Armenia and Azerbaijan. See, children, in the beginning of the 20th century, the vast majority of Russia's people were agriculturists. Russia was a major exporter of grain. Industry was found in pockets. Most industries were the private properties of industrialists. In craft units and small workshops, the working day was sometimes 15 hours compared with 10 or 12 hours in the factories. Western made up 31% of the factory labor force by 1914, but they were paid less than men. And in socialism in Russia, the Russian Social Democratic Labour Party was founded in 1898 by the socialists who respected Marx's ideas and set up a newspaper, mobilized workers and organized strikes. Russia was an autocracy. In the year 1904, it was particularly bad one for Russian workers. Prices of essential goods raised so rapidly. So all this is revision, children. I am doing it. And the membership of workers association rose dramatically. And then they were dismissed from Poteliv Iron Works. There was a call for industrial action. Over the next few days, more than 11,100 workers in St. Petersburg went on strike, demanding a reduction in the working day to 8 hours. So like this all took place, and all over the country and universities were closed down. Student bodies staged walkout, complaining about the lack of civil liberties. And along with them, lawyers, doctors, engineers, middle class workers, everybody joined during 1905 revolution. The Tsar also allowed the creation of an elected consultative parliament or Duma. Okay, children. Today, let us study about the First World War and the Russian Empire, children. See, children, this is about the year 1914. See, in 1914, a war broke out between two European alliances, that is Germany, Austria and Turkey, and the Central Powers of and France, Britain, Russia. This was the First World War, children. After this, in Russia, see, children, the war was initially popular and people rallied from Tsar Nicholas II. Then defeats were shocking and demoralizing. Russia's armies lost badly in Germany and Austria between 1914 and 1916. So there were over 7 million casualties by 1917. The war also had a severe impact on industry. Russia's own industries were few in number, and the country was cut off from other supplies of industrial goods by German control of the Baltic Sea, children. Okay, and then in 1916, railway lines began to break down, and then they were able-bodied men were called up to the war, and as a result, there was a labor shortage and small workshops producing essentials were shut down. Large supplies of grains were sent to feed the army for the people in the cities. Bread and flour became scarce. Okay, and then the February Revolution in Petrograd, children. This is, see, when I say, what is this, ma'am? February Revolution. Excuse me. I have told you in the beginning there is February Revolution, October Revolution also, children. So in this February Revolution in Petrograd, in the winter 1917, the conditions in the capital Petrograd were grim. The layout of the city seemed to emphasize the divisions among its people. The workers' quarters and factories were located on the right bank of the river Nivea. On the left bank were the fashionable areas, and then the Winter Palace and official buildings, including the palace where the Duma met. Children. In February 1917, food shortages were deeply felt in the workers' quarters. And then what happened, children? On 22nd February, a lockout took place at a factory at the right bank. That is, they closed the factory itself there. The next day, workers in 50 factories called a strike in sympathy. You know the meaning of strike. So, in many factories, women led the way to strikes. Even women also joined in the strikes, children. This came to be called the International Women's Day. Okay. Then finally on Sunday 25th February, the government suspended the Duma. And then demonstrators returned in force to the streets of the left bank on the 26th. On the 27th, the police headquarters were ransacked. The streets thronged with people raising slogans about bread wages, better hours and democracy, children. By that evening, soldiers and striking workers had gathered to form a Soviet or council in the same building. The Duma met, and then this was the Petrograd Soviet, children. Finally, the Tsar abdicated on the 22nd March. Soviet leaders and Duma leaders formed a provisional government to run the country, and Petrograd had the February Revolution that brought down the monarchy in February 1917, children. So, children, in the next after February, army officials, landowners and industrialists, all these were influential in the provincial government, but the liberals, well as socialists among them, worked towards an elected government. So in April 1917, the Bolsheviks leader Vladimir Lenin returned to Russia from his exile. Then 3 demands of Lenin's April thesis. He felt it was a time for the Soviets to take over the power. He declared that the war be brought to a close, land should be transferred to the peasants, banks should be nationalized. So this was about the February Revolution in Petrograd and the First World War, children. Thank you all, children. See, children, if you have any doubts, I will clear it in my live class. I have given a few question and answers, and today there will be a small worksheet. Work it out, children. Thank you once again.